Storm Tracker rates Weather University on WRIC Now is sponsored by Blank & Marcus, attorneys at law. Nice guys working to make a difference.
And hello, everyone. It's time for another episode of Weather University. It is a Monday at just shy of 10:30, actually just after 10:30, I should say. Joining me now, of course, my friend, my colleague, my good old buddy. There she is, Jacqueline Waters.
Buddy.
Good morning to you, Jacqueline.
Good
How
morning
are
to
you?
you.
Doing well?
I'm doing well. It's fall now, so I'm doing better than I've done lately.
This is your thing. You love fall.
I
You're
do.
excited about that.
I
But,
do.
you know, as you know, being fall, we're still in hurricane season.
Yes.
By the way, for our viewers, I'm loading up our live chat so they can talk with us as to, you know, questions that they may have today regarding our topics. And the topic, by the way, you can see it scrolling there, is this thing we've been talking about for well over a week. We kept saying, we need to watch. And then this weekend, it went like 20, 30. 40, 50. I mean, boom.
Yep.
And now, I mean, this is in the Gulf. I'll pull it up here, Jack. You can talk just a bit about this here.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've been talking about it, as Matt said, for quite a while. We just passed the peak of hurricane season. September 10th it is in the Atlantic. And you can see, not super organized right now. That is near Honduras. So just south of the Gulf. And, I mean, definitely a lot of convection, a lot of disorganized storms, but not a developed system. We don't really have a center that we're watching, but the hurricane hunters will send out a flight later today and investigate it. So we'll probably get some better details later today. But now a 90% chance of developing over the next week. But probably within the next 12 to 24 hours, we are going to likely see this develop into some sort of organized tropical system.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I mean, you know, what will it be? Will it be a tropical storm? Will it be a hurricane? We have some ideas as to that. But the number one thing is we've got to, first of all, see if it's going to develop.
Yep.
And beginning today around 2 o'clock our time, you said the hurricane
Yes.
hunters are going to come on in, 18Z. And so that's going to be our first sign. And that's when, if I'm going to go back for just a second here, Jack, they're going to try to find, as you said, this is not well defined. They're going to try to find some sort of center. Because all we're seeing right now is this blow up of clouds
Yes.
around this, and mainly on what we think is the east side.
Yep.
Not even the west side, right?
Yeah.
So, again, something there. And then you mentioned this here, 80 to 90%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty confident, right?
I think I'm trying to remember, Saturday morning, it was low to medium chance. So it wasn't even, I mean, it just blew up over the weekend. But
And again, there's a couple of things that lead to this. First of all, let's talk about the, we'll slide in here, get a better view of what we're looking at here. And that curve, by the way, is kind of the tracks, and we'll show you that in just a bit. So here are those tracks. So this is where our models grab it, and they say, okay, this is going to develop, and they try to figure out the overall path. So we've plotted up maybe about 8 to 12 different models here. And they're all in really a good idea, a good agreement, somewhere Panama City to Tallahassee. And I stopped the clock there, 6 o'clock for a landfall roughly Thursday.
Yep.
Now, that's going to fluctuate a lot.
that is going to fluctuate. And I mean, even just last week when we were starting to look at it, it was the weather models had it making landfall from Brownsville.
Brownsville,
Brownsville.
Texas,
All the way, I was thinking Brownsboro, which for some reason, but Brownsville, Texas, all the way to Florida. So at least now they are in better agreement. But once we actually have a center, then a lot of things can change that path and speed.
So yes, you mentioned the path and the speed and you know how this will track, and then I mean this gets all crazy, right? So there's the chance that we could get some tropical moisture up here on Friday, and then you see that big loop around into the Ohio Valley, and if that happens, that means Saturday, maybe Sunday could be better. Let's just get this to form first here. And one of the things that we're confident about is why it might form.
Yes.
One being those water temperatures, super warm.
It's super warm. I mean, 84 degrees to 86 degrees, some even warmer temperatures in the Gulf. It's very warm in the Gulf. We know that. And usually when these systems move through the Gulf, they form pretty rapidly. So that's something we're watching. Also low shear, which is another ingredient. You don't want a lot of shear in a hurricane because it basically breaks it up. But you do want it in a tornado. But if you don't want a hurricane to form, you want to add in that shear, but we don't have a lot of shear, and that basically adds to the development.
I'm gonna go back and play this again because I want people to specifically watch this. So again, you see the water temperatures, Jackie said. Now we're gonna go to the shear here. You can see, I mean, there is literally no shear beginning today through tonight through Tuesday and probably into Wednesday. So what that means, Jacqueline, and let's kind of talk about this. There's no winds ripping the top of this apart. This is the top, right? There's nothing shearing it apart. So it should start to blossom from the inside out and create this hurricane or tropical storm.
I mean, more organized and so something we don't want to see. We don't want to see those warm sea surface temps. We don't want to see a system, even if it's disorganized, moving into an environment with low shear. So
it's going to be interesting. All right, so we take both of those things combined, and those are some things that our models kind of pick up on, you know, not just for the track, but there's also a couple of models that will try to help to do the forecast intensity. And there's a lot going on here. So I want to really focus on this one area, which is the central part, and I've kind of highlighted it here. The models are showing a Category 2, possibly Category 3 by Wednesday afternoon, and then holding it all the way through landfall on Thursday. So that's some pretty decent intensification. It's not like Michael, which rapidly intensified, which hit a similar area, by the way. So this is very interesting. Hey, we got a couple of questions here.
Oh, cool.
Keisha Gary asks, I just joined. When do we think this is going to form? Jacqueline, you started with this early.
Yeah. I mean, so we're thinking in the next 12 to 24 hours. Possibly it could take a little bit longer, but I think, I mean, either tonight we could see something or tomorrow. Pretty confident we'll see something at least by tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think tonight is going to be, they might go with a depression once they can get the planes, the hunters in there and get a good idea of it. But I think you're right. Tomorrow morning we could be looking sometime at tropical storm.
Helene.
Helene, right, yeah. So that's
hopefully
the next
no
one.
Helenes out there in the chat.
Exactly right, for sure. And so that'll be interesting. And again, we've had a couple of hurricanes. We've had a couple of tornadoes, tropical storms, and now Helene is the next one up there.
Yes.
So Keisha, as Jackie said, later today maybe a depression, tomorrow morning something else. Is this going to affect my catfishing? Asks Joe Cannon. Joe, you're going to have to join us for Off the Hook with Matty D on Wednesday for that one. No, just a shameless plug there. You know, Joe, I don't really think that we're going to get a ton of rain here right now. There's some new indications that we might not for Friday, so the James River levels should not get that high, which is good news. So a little insight there. All right, so we're talking about this one area out in the Gulf. There's another area that you're like, Maddie, we got to talk about this too.
Yes, we can't forget.
Yeah.
I know there's only fish out there, but we got to think about the fish too. They're probably not watching us. But I mean, in all realness, we do have to watch the ocean, all parts of it, even though this is a lot further away from any land, any part of the U.S. And this area started off, I think, Saturday, it was at a 0 to 20% chance. So just to see it go to now 20% chance the next 2 days, and then a high chance, a 70% chance the next week. Definitely moving through favorable conditions for development. But, I mean, that's still very far out, and our weather pattern basically will likely keep it out at sea from what we were seeing.
Yeah, what we'll start to see now, and you know, we're now in Jackie's favorite time of year, fall.
Yeah.
What we'll often see is those cooler Canadian highs come out of Canada, but it's a cool Canadian high, right? And that kind of blocks things from coming up the East Coast. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but usually it kind of protects us and pushes storms that are out in the central and eastern Atlantic back out to sea, hooks them back out. So, yeah. So that's
if this were to form and stay out at sea, it would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Isaac.
Would be Isaac, correct. Yep, there you go. So put that back up there for you. And then, but so, you know, interestingly enough, we talked about this being a very active season. It started off pretty quick, fast, in a hurry, and then it's kind of slowed down. And I'm okay with that. I don't think anybody's complaining that that's not the case.
I think we're all okay with that.
Yeah, and again, we go back. This is the main area that we are watching. And again, this is up to 80 and 90%. So again, this is the area that we think should develop later today through tomorrow. So,
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our weather forecast here, Jack. You know, we're looking okay. I mean, we've got a couple of spotty showers today, maybe a shower storm tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday. You and I differ on Wednesday. You look at some new models. You're going to make a change for the upcoming noon.
I just think we're going to have spotty showers around Wednesday.
Okay, all right.
But we could agree to disagree.
No, it's fine. I mean, new models, different things. Because when you came in, you asked me this morning. You said, hey, what are we looking at Wednesday and Thursday? I go, it's looking dry. And when you looked at it, you saw the same Canadian high was coming down. So, but there's going to be a lot of changeability to this forecast. And then even farther out, as we look at Friday with that tropical moisture, all the models that we looked at for the overnight for GMR were just soaking us with rain.
Yep.
And now they've all kind of backed, I mean, not a lot, they've backed off a ton out to the western part of the state now. So we may not see a real wet day Friday.
Yeah. I don't think it's anything like if anyone's watching and has something on Friday, or even Saturday, don't cancel any of those plans. But stay updated with the forecast because a lot of uncertainty.
And then Saturday will look okay right now. Sunday, some isolated showers and storms late in the day. Again, this is the area. I just keep going back to it. If we believe that the center is somewhere to the east of Puerto Cabras, I believe it's pronounced, then everything is farther east right now for the development. So we're going to have to wait and see.
Yep, we will.
Another Weather University down and looking good. So we'll keep you updated. Of course, new updates will come in throughout the day. Jacqueline will have an update today at 8 News at noon. JB at 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 11. Of course, we're back with you tomorrow morning. So it's all good.
Yeah. Any other questions on the chat?
There are no other questions on the chat right now. So with that, we will say
goodbye.
Enjoy your afternoon and goodbye. There you go.
Have a good one.
Take care.